All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and good morning. Zombie Up, how you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I am in rough shape. I'll explain that in a moment. I was gonna say, okay, let's make sure we got TvZ in here. We're actually already in the lobby and almost good to go with the day, guys. So we'll be hopping into the Ting Open Season 3, Round of 16 in just a moment. A quick reminder, though, that all the groups today are best of fives. Or not today, but groups going forward are all best of fives. No longer best of threes. We're like, these are too few games for how good the players are. We need a little bit more. So we're getting a little bit more. Also, I want to give a big thank you to Wardy. He hit us up with the 14-month resub upon the stream going live. This is Ting Pugship. Poison Ivy, 10 months, hits the double digits. And then Nathanius, for 33 months, is, you gotta shove those part tubes way up your asshole, Morty. I can't do the impression as good as him, but that was my best attempt. Thank you, Nate, for that resub. It was fun playing co-op with you yesterday. And then I've got something special I need to add to the stream. This is not much, but I put a lot of effort into it. It's a little bit of a Stream Heroes thing I'm gonna stick over here because Terminator and Prognosticator, like, goddamn. First off, I guess it's people with ORs in their names. These guys, if you guys weren't here yesterday, they threw a ton of bits our way, like super duper generous. You can see Terminator has hit the high score at the top of the stream, top of the chat once more, and I thank them both for it kindly. So I feel like having this little texty thing up there shouldn't be too bad, not too in the way. But okay, the patch is live. The lobbies look different. Let me show you guys really quick. By the way, this is the first thing I noticed logging in today. The lobbies are different.
Yeah, they are.
I actually like this more, if I'm going to be honest. Having the little preview window is kind of cool. But also, it's more that the game privacy will no longer be locked out by chat when it gets stuck in minimal mode.
I mean, that's nice, and I'm guessing they fixed the lobby bug of making the lobby, but it really bothers me that they made this nice design. There's a lot of space, and yet the buttons are smaller than they were. I think the old buttons were perfect size. These are actually kind of tiny.
I gotta be honest, I don't give a fuck about the button size, but that's just me.
Of course you don't.
No, you're the one pressing all the buttons and doing all the things. The steam engineer behind the train. But anyways, lot of Zerk today. 1 Terran, Optimus, Denver, Snoot, Inertio. We'll see if the players are ready and hop into it. But to explain my next story really quick as we get into the first game, I gotta ask you, Zombie Up, have you ever had one of those moments where you severely overestimated your endurance or strength, but were too deep in to go back?
Yes. Yes.
I had that moment happen to me yesterday. I was carrying 50 pounds of flooring home because I thought, oh, 15 minutes walk isn't that far. So propping it up on my shoulder, swapping shoulders as I go. First 5 minutes of the walk wasn't a problem. Honestly, it was a breeze. But as the rain and the snow and everything was compiling on top of it, I pulled some muscles. The whole area on my right side shoulder to neck is all yellow and bruised. So Rifkin's in such good shape, guys. If I'm not cutting myself, I'm bruising myself. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna make it past the month.
Well, that sounds like you made a mistake.
Yes, I did. Let this be my living will and testament. Should I perish, Zombie Grub gets none of my stuff.
Fine, I don't want any.
Didn't want it anyways, whatever. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're here live with the Ting round of 16. As we said before, it's all best of fives going forward. And this best of five features the only Terran in the group. In the bottom right, from Dead Pixels, it's Optimus.
In the top left is the blue Zerg. He is Denver.
Now, this is really awesome. I love this first match. In fact, I love the dynamic of this group, if we're going to be honest. Oh, what did I just do to zoom in? I didn't press anything. Okay. Anyways, Optimus and Denver are certainly the new blood to the hype train. These are guys who actually pulled off fairly notable victories in the round of 32 and surprised us by getting out of their groups. On the other hand, you've got Snoot versus Inertio. It's kind of like the old guard, the old school gods that are of Europe. And I will say this pre-patch, because the patch is live now, and we'll go over that in a moment. I was confident Optimus would at least finish first or second in the group. But there's a lot of things going against him today. So if you guys have ever had like the underdog that you wanted to cheer for, this is your man today. A, He's sick. He asked us if we could move the groups, and normally I would accommodate, but this month is fully booked. We have nowhere we could move this group to. Secondly, as I mentioned before, the patch hit. So not only did Zerg get some pretty nice buffs, like Hydra's getting an additional 10 health, Reapers got the nerf bat right to the face. The grenades have twice as long of a cooldown, so from 7 seconds to 14. I don't think it's going to be super devastating because honestly, if you recall, while we did see Optimus do 3-Rax Reapers, a lot of his power was just like in really aggressive pushes and not necessarily based around like all the Reapers.
Yeah, he did do 3-Rax Reaper, sure.
Yeah, he did, but it wasn't like, oh, every game, all the time, always.
No. I'm kind of like, I'm really torn about the Optimus train hype or not, balanced or not, whatever. Because even before the recent change, we were like, yeah, we're going to pit him up against Snoot again because he was able to lose against Snoot in a best of 3, and then he won against Snoot in the next best of 3 that we purposely kind of set up because we wanted to see it again. And now I'm just like, well, so is he good at TvZ or isn't he? Because like the next time they played, Snoot just kind of slapped him down again. So
the thing is, like, that's between those two, and that can be a completely different dynamic. The way I look at it, at least, is like the previous group was also all Zerg again. So for Optimus, it's kind of like, I feel against Zerg might just be all right for him. You know, I'm not trying to oversell him. Again, this is not a guy who we're not going to see on the main stage of the finals of the next WCS event, but he might be. Give us a year, give us a couple years. I don't know. He's certainly come a long way, at least from the original, I don't know, kind of mid-bracket Fallout player that we saw in the past.
Yeah. I mean, I actually got a bit of, like, pro player backing, I suppose. Like, people saying that he's actually pretty good on the ladder and all that, so.
Ooh.
I'm certainly interested to see the new guard. Ling's being really annoying here by killing that SCV building supply depot. Hopefully Optimus doesn't get supply blocked because of it.
I love the ring around the Rosie that's being played with this. It actually saves the meal, and he's repairing it slightly, too, while that was going on. Whether that was effective or not, I don't know, but it was cool to see. Now as he moves across the map, 4 Hellions and a Reaper. If Denver's not paying attention, he could end up eating a face full of fire to those drones.
Yeah, he could. He really shouldn't, though, as Denver is not droning to that third base. He's actually making units right now. I mean, probably scared of a Hellbat push, but Optimus, while he's getting an armory, it's actually a bit later. Ling's once again in the natural, though. This has got to be, like, super annoying at this point. They kill the SCVs, at least they don't kill the ones building the supply depots.
Yeah, but this is so unfortunate. If the Hellions had been at home, this would have been no problem, but 5 SCVs lost is pretty nasty. It's not devastating, and the mule that died was pretty much at the end of its life anyways, so, I mean, this wasn't the worst loss for Optimus, but it was a nice pick off for Denver, because it was just a couple of Lings. It really wasn't that much. The Cloak Banshee follow-up, though, is going to be kind of cool, and I'm kind of interested to see how this will play out. First off, we don't have any detection down for Denver. Secondly, if this is just going to be him having to defend with the Banshee, that'll still work out well, because Roaches, they don't shoot up.
No, they don't. Definitely if you're going to get Cloak, I mean, I assume you're going to get a second Banshee. Yeah, okay, he already is. All right. And then that you're going to be wanting to do some damage with them. I mean, in an emergency, if they're all-inning you, which there aren't many Roach laying mid-game all-ins anymore, but sometimes is, then yeah, they're fantastic. But
Mother of God. Is that a command center that's actually walled off as the wall?
yeah, it's fine, even though that looks not fine.
Take screenshots, guys. This doesn't happen often. All right. Looks like Spore Crawlers did come down, by the way, so the Banshee's not going to get away with a totally devastating amount of kills. But still, no Overseer out just yet. Means anything in between the Spore Crawlers is going to get picked away at. And the Queen, actually, if the Hellions had stuck around, could have been picked off pretty quickly. Second Banshee meeting up in the middle of the map. I don't know how much you'll get done with this, though. Actually, the funny thing is, Spore Crawler only came down to the third. There's no spores in the main or the natural. And had Optimus gone straight to either of those bases, he may have walked away with a significant amount of drone kills.
Yeah. Nice, either mind games for Denver or just stroke of luck there.
Yeah.
Now we have the Banshee finally going to the main base, but the lair's already done, so an Overseer wouldn't be too far along, and as well as like an additional Queen from the natural. So I don't think it'll get more than like 7 kills, but 7 kills would, I think, make getting the Banshees a lot more worth. The drones are actually instantly pulled, so it reduces the number a little bit, but unfortunately this natural still doesn't have Spore Crawl either.
Yeah, he's got detection, but the Queens have to maneuver around. Other through the Banshee should be able to win out. Up to 9 kills. And again, this is late. This is delayed. Had this been like earlier, had this been harder hitting, like This could have gotten so much more, but Optimus still gets some pretty nice value out of this. Meanwhile, runs to the right side. Denver not paying attention. Hellions get to that mineral line, and 16 workers have died so far. Oh, but it might be a lot more.
Yeah, he's gonna need to split. 3 Hellions is still kind of scary.
Optimus missed the opportunity of the stack.
He's defending back at home against the rush onto his tanks, I guess you can call it.
I guess he should be
okay,
okay,
though. Even on top
though.
of the tanks, they get both of them, but they're gonna die for it.
Yeah, the Banshee will help clean this up. Still a lot of Marines, a substantial amount of Marines actually standing still. So 20 drones dead is going to sting for Denver a lot. Optimus, in the meantime, is feeling confident enough to just float that command center over. Yeah. Just take a third.
This is looking pretty damn good for Optimus. I mean, his follow-up is going to be a little bit lame here as he lost the tanks and his stim is so far away. Like, even more so than I think a usual Hellion Banshee build, but you know, obviously that build's gonna push it off anyways. But it just if he was planning on doing like a stimless push, maybe that is possible with 3 tanks. It's I don't think possible with 1 or 2, and it's gonna be a while. Denver can try and build drones again, get a 4th base, but also try I guess a couple of his own tricks. So tunneling claws seems to be one of them.
It's interesting seeing the double bunkers on that left side. I mean, seems a bit desperate, but it will fill that gap in the wall that he needs. I don't know. The tank also not close enough. It's funny. He's seen through these Banshees that there hasn't really been a lot of Ravager investment, and so those tanks could certainly afford to be a little bit closer to the front line. Normally it'd be very dangerous because the Corsair Palace is taken for free, but again, it's kind of some weirdness out of Denver.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. Okay, there's finally the infestation pig, because that's what I was gonna say was the weirdest part, was just that he seemed to be for a second I was like, wait, does he think it's mech? And then no, he doesn't. And he just kind of stayed on roaches, no Ravagers, no infestation pit for a lot longer than I guess we're used to seeing the likes of Nurchio and Snoot in their roach play. Because I think their hive would be like halfway done by now in some of their games. So
yeah,
feels a little bit late, but he is getting this tunneling claws thing. So like I guess hoping to be able to burrow underneath the tank push whenever that does come. Sorry, or at least do some harassment.
You can get quite a few drones with this. Denver slipping. Meanwhile, left side, we got the unloading the main. That's actually going to get caught, so that'll be nice. But this Banshee, you know, normally these Banshees end up being kind of worthless, if we're going to be honest. But this one's up to 15 kills. 6 more drones died. You got a queen to go with it, too.
I guess maybe Denver just really didn't expect 2 cloaked Banshees. Because, you know, when like the Koreans do a Banshee build, they go mostly for young, I suppose. It seems to be the one defensive Banshee that's taken care of so easily. So,
uh-oh. He's not going to see this. The wall's also down because he salvaged the bunker, so these roaches are going to get into his base, and this might be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, they should definitely split up before unburrowing.
Yeah, he's going to get the tank, he'll get SCVs in the main. So, okay, Optimus has done a great job doing damage so far, but no turret in the front is going to cost him. In his defense, and this is kind of to the benefit of Denver here, a lot of these players playing Zerg, they're going Roach Ravager. They're not doing Tunneling Claw Roaches.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a bit of a surprise for a surprise. Again, if he was not expecting the cloaked Banshee, then Tunneling Claws would be a surprise for the Terran, but
yeah,
they don't do nearly as much damage as the Banshee has done, although they're still alive.
I can tell you right now, Zomgrim, there's one person tuning in whose heart is broken, and that's Dares, who was cheering so hard for Swarmhouse. I told him it's not going to happen in Terran, dude, but he got really hooked on Denver after the DNS matches.
Yeah, Denver actually had some really fun CVP. Not gonna see that today, though.
No. Turret's gonna finish up, though, so should be able to start cleaning this up with a little bit more ease. 14 SCVs died through this. I gotta say, though, Denver having lost so much workers throughout the course of this game, I didn't realize gotten up to 78 drones behind this, though, so credit to him on the macro front. Barely won't get that queen, and the fungal growth is gonna cost him the medevacs! Oh, no!
That's unfortunate. Denver has really taken quite the supply lead. I mean, despite Optimus having an even worker count by the time he floated over that 3rd CC, I guess he wasn't rebuilding his SCVs this entire time because maybe 23 workers really was just enough to put him down to, I guess, not a perfect number, because like 55 would still be more what I expected. But regardless of that, the point is like whatever income he's had has not really been put into too like grand setting of an army. Again, he's lost his tanks with every time the roaches moved in, so while the roaches died, it took up very important units. And I guess this has really tripped him up having to deal with these roaches that still aren't being dealt with.
Yeah, left side in the meantime, Optimus just being kind of torn attention everywhere. And he's got some tanks set up, but this time there are Ravagers. There's so many roaches and there's no buffer for the tanks, so this is looking pretty bad.
Yeah. You should have 2 more tanks here, and like 5 tanks would just be, or whoa, okay, there's actually a lot more tanks back there.
Oh, well, this is why he doesn't have any buffer. Double drops head to the main while this goes on. Spine crawlers and queens both go down. Drop on the right side too, and Denver's looking to maybe take a bit of losses here. I don't know if he'll lose the hive.
Yeah.
He's gonna focus it down though. He might just get it.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get it. There's nothing close to try and save it. Could try and throw down an emergency infestation or Ultralisk Cavern, but didn't get the chance to.
Not fast enough, no. And the best part is he can try and pick up and get out of here. So, okay, Optimus took a lot of damage at home, but it just dealt a fair amount to Denver's tech. I mean, that hive is going to take a long time to replace.
Oh, yeah, I definitely think Optimus did more damage to Denver than Denver did Optimus. And that tank count, it's zoomed out, 7 tanks and still building more. Like, that's an impressive amount of tanks, even after losing 2 so early in the game. I think he's actually going to be really just perfectly safe against any type of roach attack. Like, even if the fungals are good, as long as Optimus has a decent position, doesn't get caught with like his tanks unsieged, all types of clumped up, I think his army is just going to be a lot better. But it's still a while before he wants to push. But now he has that time because he doesn't have to worry about Broodlords or Ultralisk.
Well, I just wanted to point out, there was, I think, maybe a bit of a missed opportunity there. Optimus saw Denver had literally his whole army up against this cliff and this cliff. If he had pushed with any force, like this small one here to the right base, it would have died. But Denver has since dispersed. The army's here. He sees it, and Optimus is going to pull back.
Yeah. I guess, funnily enough, Optimus, despite going for, like, very consistent tank production and double tanks eventually, was pretty late to his tank upgrades.
Yeah.
They aren't as effective against, like, Roach Ravager and Fester as they are against Lings, of course, but it's still kind of funny because his army is really a lot of tanks.
Misses the scan a little bit late. He gets one of the infestors. Not too bad. You get the medevacs out of there.
Yeah, you can seize the medevacs.
Oh, I see. They've joined the herd.
I think there was definitely a moment where Denver thought he might have the position to win. You know, right before that hive went down, this 4th base got attacked. Because I wouldn't mention it, but Denver even was trying to take Optimus's 4th base or 5th, whatever you want to call it, but the one off to the right side, and that was just like so bold. I think he might be regretting being a little too aggressive with his roaches and trying to take that base. This one off to the left side makes a lot more sense. It's probably going to be safe because Optimus is attacking to the right.
There are 10 tanks in this composition. The Banshee's still alive from earlier. There's a lot of killing power in Optimus's army, despite being down in supply. But +3 weapons about to finish out for Denver. This army fight might just be one he wants to take. I don't know. Not against the siege tanks, perhaps, but he will fall back. Marauders in the front line are not that numerous.
Yeah. Certainly not if the siege tanks are all sieged, but he did see maybe a moment where he thought maybe they wouldn't be. Now Optimus is going to play it safe and just siege hop forward. Well, his bio's already done that, seeing where the army was off the left side. Takes an easy pick off of the 4th base, actually, and Denver just is going to try and counterattack.
Oh, it's a little bit base tradey up in here. I don't know how this will go for Denver, though. I don't think you actually win this race should have come down to it. And it's not because Optimus is choked at the top of his ramp, but just simply his buildings will fly and Denver's do not.
Yeah, right? I mean, his one hope would be that he does take care of the bases and the production, and it's down to that base trade scenario, and he catches Optimus moving around the map. And if you do that, then the tanks aren't sieged, and that maybe gives his army a bit more of a chance. But I am going to guess he really just hoped Optimus was going to pull back so he had time to get whatever hive tech he was trying to get to.
Well, there's chaos and damage going down everywhere. Command center in the bottom left dies. Layer in the top right, hive dies. Like, everything that these guys had to replace up to this point in the game, it's going to come down so much that I think Optimus will hold for long enough in the main, and Denver's going to lose out enough. I mean, his army supply is huge. Like, this is insane to look at. It's 158 army supply to 100. But again, the difference is, like, Optimus can fly. He can just disengage from this. And there's no easy way to deal with these tanks.
Right. He has to hope that they're clumped up,
unsieged,
and hit by fungals and corrosive biles, which does... This base trade increases that chance, in my opinion, but you know... Optimus should also be careful about it. Glad he didn't actually commit to that planetary.
This is cool. I mean, the scan goes down, but it's on the wrong side of the tank, so it will kill some of the roaches. I love this, though, because that is probably his best bet to get into it. I mean, there's not going to be many scans. There's not going to be many orbitals landed, even. He's got to be careful with those tanks.
You know, now we're at a point, though, where even if Optimus loses his tanks, maybe his bio would still be good enough to win a base trade. Does a 3-3, and he's still kind of producing.
Yeah, 3-3 is pretty nice. More tanks going to go down for certain. Corsair Bio's going to land, too. He's got a dodge. Does pull back. Nicely done. Top of the ramp, working that choke in his favor, but this bio, as good as it is, it's still heavily outnumbered.
Yeah, the fungals were coming, and I feel like Optimus knew that, too. Just just barely gets out of there, saves a lot of those medevacs too. They're pulling back for a second. Just kidding. Denver, anticipate that? That would have been awesome. Good infestor positioning.
Yeah, that was either luck or intense skill. I don't know which, but the medevac's going down is going to be the biggest part of this. Marauders dying can be replaced. Let's not forget the production's still up, but Optimus has no money. And that's where these extra command centers need to start dropping mules and building SCVs or something. Denver should, in my opinion, win the game from this position.
Yeah.
GG.
Yeah. Using those 3 medevacs is just too much. Even if he hadn't lost the 3 medevacs, it still might have still gone in Denver's favor. One good fungal, now all the tanks are gone.
You know, we had someone in the middle of that game, of course, ask in chat, like, oh, why are these guys casting these two? It says Snoot versus Nerdgeo. Well, first off, we are casting Snoot and Nerdgeo. That'll be playing next. But secondly, I loved that game. The thing is, like, Denver and Optimus are, as we described, the underdogs of the group, which is great because, A, that means they're kind of matched for each other in this weird, perfect way. But also, it guarantees that we're going to have this really sick underdog winners and losers match because it's going to be one of these two versus Snoot and one of these two versus Nerdgeo. So, I know that these aren't exactly the most well-renowned players in Europe, but I tell you guys, I'm more than happy that they're competing in this group, and I'm really stoked to see them playing today.
Next map is going to be Cactus Valley.
Oh, thank you, Temple, for the tweet, by the way. Let me go give that retweet out. Whoop, whoop. There we go. But yeah, just a little bit to add on to that last game. What was really cool for me was that goes right back to, okay, Optimus may not have won that game, but what we got to see was like really good multitasking, a lot of really good aggression, and again, like I don't think he was ever the player that absolutely had to rely on Reapers per se, but it was something that he could use to good effect. So it's nice to see that without Reapers, he can still make it work. To a degree. But also, I just realized with the new lobby, there's not 100 empty slots. It actually condenses it kind of cleaner.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's a cleaner lobby. Just wish buttons are bigger.
I just saw Denver tweet about this too, and he's got the Denver the Last Dinosaur. Was that like claymation or something? Nice. I don't know if Jesse will be around today, by the way, guys. He's been very, very busy setting up for the live event and doing other things that are not StarCraft related, if you can believe that. But hopefully he'll be able to stop by. I will mention something that was asked yesterday on stream, and I'll make this a blanket statement for all those watching. If you're in the United States, if you've signed up for TING recently, or you're planning to sign up through TING, make sure to head on over to bttv.ting.com. You'll get $25 in credit, and the best part is, they will apply it retroactively in a lot of cases. All you gotta do is ask Jesse. So if you see Ting Jesse in chat, or if you want to message him on, sorry, not him, but Ting on Twitter, they've been really cool, really chill, and super helpful at helping people get signed up. So again, I think it was someone's dad had signed up for Ting unrelated to esports, and he's wondering if he could claim the code retroactively. The answer to that so far has been yes. So again, bttv.ting.com to learn more, guys. But as we continue into the game, map number 2, bottom left, we once again have the Red Zerg player. It's going to be Roman D Gaming's Denver.
In the top left is the Purple Terran. He is Dead Pixels. Optimus. Oh boy. Yeah, oh boy. Still gonna try multiple Rax Reaper on Cactus Valley too. Not a particularly famous triple Rax Reaper.
Well, so this does go into where we need to talk about the nerf. So for those who don't know and haven't been following the patch notes, Reapers, they didn't lose their health, they didn't lose their damage per se through their auto attacks, but they did lose damage through the grenade. It now has a 14-second cooldown instead of 7. And to be honest, 14 seconds is not too bad when you consider there's a lot of downtime sometimes with pulling back and waiting to heal. But there's not going to be the spammed amount of grenades that we've seen before. And for me, like I look at this at a glance, I'm like, you know what? Like, once players were getting up to above 10 Reapers, I don't think they were using the grenade on cooldown anyways. So this may not have a huge effect if this gets to that critical mass, but it certainly is going to have a bigger effect on Reapers when there's only 1 to 2 of them.
It's going to be worth testing for sure. A little surprised that Optimus would try testing so quickly in a tournament scene, but he might have just looked at the patch and said like exact same things, like, well, it might affect the early Reapers, but I'm not going to lose those, so it'll still work out in the late game. We'll see. He does scouts correctly, whereas Denver, kind of funnily enough, did not. So overly still hasn't seen where Optimus is, and as such has also not seen that it's multiple Reapers. In fact, I mean, unless he's gonna know it is when the second Reaper comes in, but his Overlord would have never scouted the additional barracks. His Lings are about to find a wall, which is kind of unfortunate.
So this is also, again, we're going to see this through these 2 Reapers, that grenade cooldown. Sometimes you would actually throw that down just to escape the Queen's last hit. Now he has to pull back fairly early on the Reapers to make sure he doesn't lose them.
Speed is almost already done for Denver. It's going to be a little scary until there's not a lot of Reapers. They're still coming through here. I guess there was not a wall at the natural. The supply depot was down, or it's not a wall. I can't tell which one, but the Lings do get to that top of the ramp. It's not being repaired.
I just realized how much more dangerous it is to actually lose a Reaper, considering how powerful that cooldown is. So before it was pretty bad to lose 1 or 2 Reapers early on, but losing even just 1, that's, you guys gotta consider time-wise, it's like 14 more seconds before you can fire a grenade again. He'll launch these out a little bit less spammy and a little bit more organized to try and escape. Nicely done.
Yeah, he had to wait on a lot of Reapers to take care of 2 Lings, so now it looks scary again. And Denver might have underestimated the Reaper presence, because again, his Overlord wasn't scouting the additional 2 barracks, and his Lings technically weren't either. They were attacking a supply depot. Now it's scouting the additional 2 barracks, but he hadn't seen if a tech lab was added on, or 4th barracks, I guess. 4th and 5th barracks now.
Well, there's another part of this too, where we've talked about it mostly with the Koreans more than foreigners, where the dynamic is you like stop Reapers at 10. You don't really go beyond that in some cases. But for these guys, the foreign scene, they like their Reapers a lot. They go for like upwards of 13 in some cases. So for Denver, it would have been really nice to see whether there had been the case where he stopped and was producing Marines, or as you mentioned, tech labs. Goes to the attack again with Lings. This will require some repairs, but a cancel on the 3rd is not bad for Optimus.
No. Optimus has even done 5 Rax Reaper after Command Center. Like, it's not like a cheesy, stupid, funny build. He's actually just, like, thought it was going to work out. So
I did have a Skype conversation with him about contemplating 7 Rax and 8 Rax Reapers.
Maybe that's too much. But here he's doing it again. He's going up to 4 Reapers at a time at the very least. I guess he doesn't hotkey the last one. Some of the minerals. There we go. 5 Reapers at a time. He'll eventually move over, but he's really probably hoping still that Denver's underestimating his committal to Reapers.
I was making jokes, but I'm also kind of serious, where it's like, oh, twice the cooldown of Reapers? Just get twice the Reapers.
Yeah. So far, the grenades haven't seemed to really do very much. The new grenades, the patch grenades. But it's really going to be hard to tell.
Right, and like I said, I think the nerf was kind of an interesting one. It's not going to straight up kill Terra in the same way I think a lot of people want to balance mine that it will. But, it doesn't really affect Reapers when there's 13 or 14 of them. It will affect it when there's more like 2 to 3. And that's when Denver's best chance to clean this up would have been. It
definitely is about the 1 to 5 or maybe even 6 Reapers, which I think Denver could have taken care of, but he stopped making Lings thinking that he had already stopped the attack.
Trying to get those drones in was greedy, to say the least.
Yeah, and he did it again, actually. But he gets a decent surround here. The grenades kind of hurt the Reapers as well.
Yeah, Optimus didn't even try to get down the cliff. I thought with the grenades going off, he would have retreated, but that was a huge loss for him, and now he's in a lot of trouble because this was really dependent on him doing enough damage before a certain time. With the Spire coming out, there's not going to be that much at home that can really deal with the mutas.
I definitely think that was a mistake. That could have been a better trade. That could have been a massive trade, in fact. But he does have his production finishing up. I mean, additional racks and additional reactors and tech labs. So he should be okay to defend against 2-base muta. It's not like Denver has been rolling in the money this entire time, and his 3rd base was canceled. It's not even being used right now.
One of the things I like to see too was he was going after the creep tumors pretty viciously. You even saw that scan come down for them. And he's done a great job of policing the creep up to this point. I mean, this is really the only active tumor on the map. So, at the very least, like, let's say this goes past the Reapers and we get to Marines and mutas and Banelings and all that, there won't be that much creep on the map that it needs to clean up. It won't be all over the place like when we watch Snoot and Scarlet and others play.
Yeah. I was actually a little interested. I guess he'd already had so many Reapers it didn't matter, but another issue is trying to guess where the creep tumors are with grenades might also be too much when you're only at the 5 Reaper count. But he seemed fine to deal with, and he had like 7 or 8, 9 Reapers. These are going to be sacked, it looks like, with the mutas out. They could try and run away, I suppose, but yeah, they might as well just try and get whatever they can. And it looks like it's going to be not much.
No, unfortunately, no. If they got back and at least get scouting, that'd be fine. Sees that there's no hive on the way or anything fast like that. I love this chat asking, is Optimus secretly euthermal? Fun fact, guys, euthermal actually gives Optimus a lot of credit when it comes to like getting better at the game, so you're not too far off with that joke of a guess.
Yeah. Sim is done. There's already a lot of Marines after all, and 5 racks finish up their add-ons. It's a lot of production. It's perfect production, really, on 2 bases. They're missing combat shields, so Sim plus Glaive Worms can sometimes, you know, take out a couple of Marines here and there. But Denver did not have a lot of mutas made. Again, it wasn't like he was banking 1,000 to 1,000. He just barely got the 7. And is still adding on more, but obviously not at a very fast rate. He got stuck at like 40 drones for a long time, and now only at 53 still isn't that impressive. Doesn't have the gases at the natural or third base.
That was really dangerous too. As we saw, the mutas went back in to pick up that medevac. That would have gone so much better for Denver, in my opinion.
That's not a wall anymore.
I didn't know. There's no way that's a wall. That's a silly question.
Well, I asked because usually, like, you know, they would recognize that too and put a supply depot there.
So, do you think, is that a wall? I don't.
It's Cactus Valley, man.
Actually, in fairness, yeah, it is Cactus Valley.
And Optimus really, like, I mean, now Ling run-bys aren't that big of an issue, and in fact, they probably won't be, as he's going to take control of the mid-game in a second. But, like, if it ever gets longer than that, or Denver has, like, a handful of Lings, that's going to be really easy to bring the army back. Oh, well.
Well, as the mutas continue to flonk around and bulk up, I mean, Optimus is not in the worst spot. If he didn't have this third, if this was actually shut down, he would be in so much trouble. But muta harass, while annoying, he's still mining through it. These head over to the main. There's a lot of turrets put down. These are like, I'm so sick of the mutas amounts of turrets.
Every time gets to that point soon enough.
Well, what's really unfortunate, though, is Denver is continuing to invest in his mutas. Not just more mutas, but also a weapon upgrade. So at some point, those turrets are not going to be enough.
Oh, no, they aren't. But this is where Optimus is going to force those mutas to be back at home, ideally.
Yeah.
So there's a Woodamine charge, so he can still stick around, but it's a little bit dangerous. You gotta assume Denver has more banlings and more Lings on the way. Unfortunately, Optimus didn't start his 2-2 as fast as possible, but still has a lead on that one.
Yeah, and his production is a little bit wonky, too. I think the way this will work out, like, if Optimus gets to the point in this game at some point, like whether it's floating the main over or building a new one, if he can get a 4th base down, I'm going to really like his game going forward, especially with things like Drilling Claws coming out. He's going to put a lot more emphasis on these Widow Mines. RNG can seriously be your best friend as Terran or your worst enemy. All things considered, those Widow Mines are dangerous.
Well, that is where the army is, so the mutas can't stick around for too long, but always able to dodge into that main base, and this is going to be really annoying after a while for Optimus to come back and try and defend.
You know, the other problem, too, is with all the SCVs being transferred around, he actually doesn't have that much to repair, so if the mutas come in, there's, like, nothing to just surround the turret and repair it with.
Yeah, I mean, there's, like, one...
Oh, God. Okay,
this place was down anyways.
Yeah, the depot would have been down anyways, but it just kills you because if it was up, it wouldn't have mattered. It's still... Build one more depot, please.
Oh, well. That wasn't the best run-by. I mean, it kills 6 SCVs, which makes it kind of worthwhile for the amount of Lings. But usually, run-bys want to do more than just kill workers. They want to actually get, like, some chaos going and maybe even pull back an army.
Well, that's the thing I think Denver was hoping on, because as you may have seen, all the units set up around this base. Widowmine gets a fantastic hit, though. Oh, that just saved the SCVs. That Widowmine was a hero.
That would have gotten all the SCVs. Speaking of worker kills, I guess. Nice little drop by Optimus, probably stuck around the corners of the map, but unfortunately Denver very quick to respond with his Lings. Now, Optimus does have his 2-2 finishing up, and he has a Thor on the way. He's been building a couple Marauders to help soak up the Banelings, have a wall ready for his Marines, and it's not a bad army. But is it going to be enough still? Like, is the supply big enough? Is he clear up enough creep? I think it's actually a very scary push. There's not a lot of creep. One creep tower gets scanned, is cleaned up. There's a lot of Widow Mines, and his rally isn't that far away, especially because he built his barracks not only in his main, but also in his natural and his third.
That was
right there.
That was actually a really good cleanup of those Banelings, because the next round is on the way, and there's no more waiting for him. So if he were to go in now, he would have gotten some freebies, but still has some time. The Banelings are just now completing. Marauders hoping to soak some of these hits. Widowmine's burrow on burrow. That quick burrow as well, thanks to the tunneling claws. Not enough.
Somehow missed that big old pile of Banelings, but still cleans it up.
Thor comes to the front line too. This will help with the mutas a little bit. Range is a big thing to zone that out. Splash damage is going to be scary. A lot of Marines still on the ground, and Denver's out of ground supply to work with. The mutas are going to get shredded. This is what he invested everything into. Widowmines came off, going out round 2 for those shots, and a lot of these mutas are going to go down. In fact, all the mutas are going to go down, and this might just be game for Denver.
I do believe it is. He invested the rest of his minerals and gas into mutas, which still aren't going to be that helpful. Some Lings trying here.
Mutas are great when they get above like 25 in count, but this is just not going to cut it. 13 Mutas, that's such an investment. Did he just kill his own Thor? It doesn't matter. GG, Optimus wins the game. That's going to be a wonderful series now tied up 1-1. We are going to go to our first commercial break of the day, guys. So just 2 minutes. Stick around, and we'll see you for more in a bit. In the meantime, if you are curious and you're tuning in from the United States, you're wondering what this is about, this whole tournament is just a big advertisement for Ting. Ting's a really great phone service. They're absolutely worth checking out. bttv.ting.com. And we got some commercials we'll play for them later, too. But for now, just simple game ads, and we'll see you soon. All right, folks. Some of you heard those beeps. That was the lobby counting down as we just hop quickly into game 3. Giving these guys a small breather as we ran some ads, and of course, now moving on with the series. But yeah, it's tied up now 1-1, and the reminder is that this isn't the match point. These are best of 5s now in the round of 16, not best of 3s, so get a little bit more action for it. We actually saw some really great best of 5 action the other night, casting Major, Scarlet, Kelazur, and Cloudy in that group, that pseudo group. And that was a lot of fun, and it really reminded me just how much better games you get out of best of 5s. So very happy to upgrade the groups. This was originally planned to be best of 3s, but talk more on that later. Bottom right side of the map, things have been tied up 1-1 on him. It's going to be the blue Zerg player, Denver.
In the top left is the red Terran. He is Optimus.
And of course, just a quick reminder, as we've been constantly tweeting out dates and everything, this week we should have a sign-up thing for you guys to come to the live event. We've worked it out at this point, and the way it looks like it's going to be for the offline finals is anyone can just show up and come play. But we don't know how many people are coming. Maybe it'll be 5. Maybe it'll be 500. Like, we actually have no way of knowing. So we're going to be setting up an Eventbrite with Corsair in the very, very near future. And if you guys sign up through the Eventbrite, it will guarantee your seating at the live event. So if we are, for some reason, full to capacity, we'll kick out a pleb for you if you signed up through Eventbrite. I mean, I got to be honest, I don't know how many people are going to come to this. If I'm guessing, I'd be happy with between 50 and 100. It's a StarCraft-only event. It's 2 days, and it's not a big convention. So if we got those numbers, that'd be pretty stellar. I know there's a couple folks who've actually tweeted us. I've been retweeting them, too. They say that they've got their hotels booked. They got their flights on the way. If you guys are coming, I know we don't have the Eventbrite up, but do me a favor. Hit us up with a tweet at BaseTradeTV. Let us know if you're planning to come to the offline finals for the TING Season 3. Mm-hmm. But speaking of 3...
Oh, boy. Haha, good segue. Yeah, 3-Rack Reaper once again. I gotta say, Cactus Valley is still probably the least I would see 3-Rack Reaper on, but Abyssal Reap is like obviously not totally up there either, but it does happen. I think the last time we saw Optimus do this on this map was actually proxied even, but finding some way to have a very awkward looking wall in that natural so we can expand later. There's a lot of things that happened in that last game, and there's, I think, no point really where someone was really far ahead, although Denver did say that he threw the game, and some people in chat seem to agree. I wouldn't say it was like so far ahead. It was like, whoa, how'd you lose that one?
I would say there's 2 points of that game that really stood out to me. One, other than Optimus's mistakes, one is the fact that he went to droning pretty quickly. He didn't take the Reaper threat seriously. And the second part is kind of what you brought up with the no scouting to confirm that Reaper threat that needed to be taken seriously. So this time around, he's fully aware what's going on. The Overlord's sitting pretty right above that. And while Optimus might try and take a command center behind it, it's still going to be a lot of Reapers he needs to deal with. And speed's not close to finished yet.
This makes it so awkward. So it's actually like, okay, well another Reaper goes down. Deja vu. It's way better to proxy the Reapers, not just because obviously they're closer, but because you proxy them on the right side of this map in these locations, and they don't have to go through this awkward choke with no other jump up spots. They actually have a jump up spot in the main base, and they have the pathway that's not a choke as much into the natural. As it is with this build, with this map, you're going through that ramp every single time, and if Denver just had a couple more queens or his Lings prepared, well, this would never happen.
I actually feel like that choke benefits Optimus, though, in most ways.
Yeah, it depends on how he wants to use it, I think. Like, if he just, like, is, like, baiting the Lings down there, then, like, totally, it's his favor. If he tries to get up there, then he's gonna lose a Reaper.
Okay, so he knows where the Lings are, and I do want to point out he did pull off of this pretty quickly. Tech Lab came down, making Marines right now. This isn't going to look like last game. But for Optimus, I think a big part of that giveaway is, okay, the Overlord scouting, but second, like, he hasn't kept up the pressure. That being said, though, Denver may have misread the situation, because in no scenario have we seen somebody respond to this with a bailing bust and have it work out really well for them.
Okay, well, that's true. No, I think he's banking on it working as a bailing bust, and I'm sure it does work occasionally, right? Like, it's,
otherwise the pros wouldn't keep going for it. Yeah, but
yeah,
it's just we haven't seen it. It's a low track record here on BaseTradeTV.
Yeah, I mean, some of that has to do with the fact that the Reapers see it and they just like throw grenades down, and they're very effectively like, you know, forcing the banelings to be a lot worse, basically. But if Optimus doesn't bring his Reapers back home, he did transfer over into Marines a lot quicker. His tech lab is a weak point of the wall, and that is trying to get stim. He gets the third, but Denver doesn't really care. He's gonna get stim. He's gonna get reactors.
Yeah, killing that stim's gonna be brutal. This really hurts. He runs up to the top of the ramp. There's nowhere to hide from. This is going really topsy-turvy bad, and well, most of the time we don't see a bailing bust work. It might just have made its first appearance on BaseTradeTV.
Yeah. Now he does have to kill still like a couple more workers, but
actually, you know what? He might still save this. Yeah, the Reapers coming home might just be enough.
Like, he's got to kill, I want to say, 20 workers, maybe, to make up for his low drone count, too.
Shutting down Stim was a pretty big deal, but so was Optimus stopping the third base of Denver simultaneously. And Denver, he wasn't exactly floating a million drones behind this. He did have to make so many lings. So, yes, he's got a worker lead of 30 to 19, but I'd say he's still, I agree, like 20 workers would have been the optimal number. Only ends up hitting 14. It's still good, but I don't know if that's good enough to win him the game off of that.
Yeah, it is really important that he also got stim. If this is another barracks in the main base,
that's not a wall.
Researching stim. No, it's not.
Now it is.
Then I'd say that Denver is actually already out of this game, even. But with killing stim and maybe getting another couple good counterattacks, he might be able to recover.
That's gonna be awkward. As he goes for another bailing bust, he's actually one bailing shy. Just FYI, actually breaking the wall. Ugh, awkward.
And the medevacs see it. Well, he's gonna force the medevacs to come back. So, like, worst case scenario, he doesn't commit to this. He does commit to it. There weren't that many Marines. If all 16 Marines were in those medevacs and they all unloaded, that wasn't enough lings. But because there was such a small amount of Marines, and they're unloading into the lings, once again, the Reapers have to come back.
So if Denver wasn't getting drones behind this would be such a failed endeavor out of him. But he's getting more worker kills. He's still droning like a madman. And he's up to 43 workers with that third base up and running.
Yeah, he's really ensuring that his macro game is going to be untouched by killing the Marines and killing Stim. This is Reapers, and they're just as ineffective as coming out of medevacs on top of lings as Marines are. Like, these are just like really, I feel like he's desperate to apply some type of pressure, and that's fine. He's right in feeling that desperation, but it's going to be really awkward.
Yeah, it's a damn shame the Reapers can't just drop grenades out of the medevac as they're like flying by, kind of like a carpet bomb.
They should.
Just chuck them out there.
Yeah, exactly. They do fully unload, but it's you know, it's not enough.
Yeah, Queen's gonna help push this back too. This is where Optimus really starts sweating, because, you know, in the previous game he also had 3 CCs behind this. Not the case this time. He's in a lot of trouble, and the damage over here is just not cutting it. He picks up once again, unloads immediately. Back at home, bunkers up. It's kind of funny to see Marines keep popping on the wrong side of that wall. That's very awkward.
Yeah, it is. They have an entrance though with the bunker. This is just not looking too good for Optimus. Denver is very short to reaching that point of kind of no return, like 60-ish drones with upgrades and Aspire. Because the one thing back in a game, as everyone knows, is either mules, which are good, don't get me wrong, or drops, and these drops aren't doing anything. If mutas come out, they really aren't gonna do anything.
Are you trying to tell me that mules are a good unit?
They're pretty good. They're all right in a bind.
Yeah. We have some folks asking, just so we got some downtime here, about the the TING finals. It's at the Corsair headquarters in Fremont. I don't know location. I was told of San Jose. I guess you go to San Jose and drive to Fremont.
Right,
Same
like
difference.
Yeah, well, San Jose's like airport's like 8 minutes away. And San Francisco airport's 30 minutes away.
Yeah. So either way, the details have been posted on Twitter. You can find it pinned to the top of our BaseTradeTV Twitter. It's been posted in the TING finals thread. And again, we should have an Eventbrite sometime this week where we'll have a lot more detailed information. And in case anyone is actually still planning to plan their trip, most of us are going to be staying at the Marriott, which is really close to the headquarters. It is like across the street close to the headquarters.
Yeah, There's some other close hotels too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Eventbrite should have some recommendations, hopefully, as well.
The next drop's on the way. This time it does have stim and combat shields, and I think it's all Marines this time. But, oh, it's not even full, never mind.
Funny enough that,
It's not getting it there.
no. That Overseer is actually a supply block, and these next two Overlords will also be a little bit supply hurtful as well. Optimus, I can't see him win this on 2 bases. I don't want to be the negative Nancy, but it's just, he's fallen too far behind. As Denver takes his 4th, he scans it. There's the GG.
Okay. I thought maybe he'd go for one final push.
I think he would
wasn't
have.
that bad, but...
I think he would have if he wasn't denied out of the natural like that. Like, you float over, you see like 2 spore crawlers in the army waiting for you. Just not gonna happen.
All right. I think you'd go in commando for the Twitch Prime sub.
Yeah, we had a couple other subs coming too. Cape 160, 6 months, says, hey, right back at ya. Mr. 2 hit us up for 35 months. Says, always nice to come home to dinner and a good stream. Well, hello, European. Slevin TV hit us up with a bit. Thank you kindly. Shark Dog. Oh, when did we miss this? Shark Dog threw $25 our way and said, I think I goofed on the forum for my 12-month Partoof. I got 2, sad face. To atone for this, have a donation. Oh, you cheeky bastard. I'll never forgive you for that. How dare you? Thank you very much, though, man. And enjoy your Partoofs. Use one as your special keepsake and use the other to throw at your family members. They're heavy. They're weighted. They hurt.
They do hurt. Yeah, a little bit.
As we get into this next game, we got Mir 1989. 24 months. That's 2 years since I tried to stop, but I keep coming back like a fly on a pile of very seductive manure. Beautiful imagery, my friend. Absolutely glorious. Dostier hit 13 months to say, let's ace 2 those ace 1s, Kappa. And I think that should catch us up. If we missed anybody, our apologies. But a lot of focus on these. These have actually been pretty fun games. Like, again, these are not, like, this isn't Innovation versus Sue. These aren't the most high-quality games you've ever seen in your life. But I really do like that these two are well-matched for each other. And that this isn't some sort of rollover, like, 3-0 boring series.
Yeah, it is pretty well-matched. Okay. Oh, the player's being very nice to Naruto.
Yeah, Naruto had a problem where he was using stream delay on Twitch, but it wasn't working. I don't know. So the thing is that he's restarting his stream. It should just take a second, so it wouldn't matter either way. It's if you're taking the stream down and have to restart with a delay already, that you end up having to wait a few minutes, which sucks.
I guess he's saying that it actually like broke XSplit. Maybe it's not coming up again, or I don't even know. But I agree, maybe it won't take that long.
You know, I had some trouble getting the stream live this morning, actually. I had to restart the stream like 3 or 4 times. Like, for those who don't know, the goal is pretty much always have the stream live about half an hour beforehand playing music. And anytime you see it after that, either I've slept in, or B, we actually just have technical problems getting the stream live.
So it's 50-50.
I'd say more like 30. I don't feel like I wake up that late that often. It's like when our sleep schedules have been flipped for a month and I got to go the other way. Like, yeah, that'll happen. But anyways, it's now match point for the preliminaries of the group. In the bottom left, he's on his last life. It's going to be Dead Pixels, Optimus.
In the top right is the Blue Zerg. It is Denver.
Very nice 2-1 lead. We also had Devin Wolf, who's kind enough to usually bless us with bits here and there. Hit us up with a 29-month resub. No message, but I do want to just say thank you, Devin Wolf. Senpai has noticed.
You almost sound like you were guilting him there.
No, I just meant like I recognize that he's a really active chatter and he contributes a bunch. He's great. I guess the Senpai notice thing can almost sounds like Big Brother's been watching though. I've seen what you've been doing in chat.
Oh, we all see.
Okay,
well, we have records of you, so.
Well, so this is this kills me here. He goes for Reapers again. And the thing about this is I don't actually like Reapers so much for Undergrounds, but that's beside the point because I thought, even though he lost that very first game of the day, his macro is pretty solid. I was hoping to see more of that. He did get 1 win off of the Reapers, though, so I totally understand thinking, like, okay, this is the way to go. But the last game was not very convincing. Sure,
yeah. Well, for him, he might have just thought, like, okay, those Reapers should have scouted what was up, or I should have, You know, I noticed there's like a few less drones, and I didn't think about it, but now I'm going to be really on top of it. Because if you have Vapors at home, it is a much better hold. And also, maybe you don't start your stim on that tech lab. But anyway, I like Reapers on Undergrounds as much as I'll like Reapers ever, which is not very much. But usually not in cross-spawn, and it's kind of sucky, I think, for Optimus that it is cross-spawn, as it's a little bit farther of a distance for those Reapers to go. Denver also being a smart Zerg here and putting his hatchery on the outside expansion is going to help as well. But there's still a lot of room to jump up on. Unfortunately, like... I feel like Optimus could maybe, like, just realize that he's not there once he scouts the supposed natural, but... Gonna check.
This is absolutely unrelated, but you guys get a little bit of in-game Rifkin Cam for just a second, because I don't know why this is so important to me. This is not wine. This is red sparkling water, okay? I just need to put that out there. Because I've been getting a lot for this over the last couple casts.
Just don't call red water. It's the only problem.
It's red colored water. What am I supposed to call it?
It's the only problem. Whatever the flavor is.
Framboise fraise?
Just say it's strawberry then.
It's not though. It's blackberry.
Then say it's blackberry.
But blackberry isn't red. It's black.
No, it's not. It's red.
It's got black in the name.
If you make a juice out of it, it's not like pure black with your soul.
Have you seen that black water though? That stuff actually looks crazy gross to drink.
It does, yes. About the Reaper,
gets
gets
the Reaper.
the last little tap on it.
And now again, it's worth noting, like, what number does Optimus go to with this, right? Like, he's sitting here on a lot of Reapers so far. He's building Command Center behind it. But the game he won, he went, like, 13 plus Reapers deep and had 3 CCs.
Ooh.
Nice pick up on that Queen and the Creep Tumor.
That like melted, though, man. What's up?
Yeah, at least you didn't disappear like a magic trick. StarCraft 2, please.
Maybe they fixed that in the patch.
Alright, so coming up to the high ground is always dangerous. Like, he knows where the lings are. I will tell... Through all of these games, Optimus has actually been really good about knowing where their lings have gone, and it's not been a question of like, where'd they go? I guess I'm confused and lost. Like, he's been very, very clearly in the know about where his opponent positions himself.
The Optimus is getting 4 more barracks instead of just 3 more.
Yo, my man!
I don't know why.
Well, I mean, again, we joked about like the 7 to 8 rack sweeper, but maybe we're gonna see it come into play, guys. Optimus will be my hero for the day if that ends up being the case.
I feel like this won't be an optimal build, okay? Like, it's 5 barracks on 2 bases whenever he does transfer over, and that's it. Okay, whatever. It's gonna be a little weird looking. We're at 7, I guess.
Yeah.
This might just be enough Reapers for not only Lings to handle, though. I'm like, getting really worried as Denver chases them.
Good guy Optimus doing the balance test thing that David Kim never could.
Okay, this is a couple of Reapers, but he's starting to take out a lot of these Lings. A lot of them are very low. Let's get back onto the high ground, though. Doesn't matter. He has 7 more Reapers on the way.
He is doing 7 Rex Reaper. 8 Rex Reaper!
If he ever has to transition, it's just you won't be able to afford all of this unless he doesn't build reactors, which then I guess it's fine.
Yeah, so to be perfectly clear, guys, this is more funny than effective, but if this works, that'll be amazing. Again, the joke was like, okay, twice the cooldown, twice the Reapers, easy peasy. But as more Reapers come in, with 8 possibly being produced at a time, losing 1 or 2 is not as devastating.
Yeah. They're getting a little trapped, though, so he really is bleeding out the Reapers. Well, Denver managed to squeeze in a 3rd base, a lair, and it's still making a lot of Lings.
One of the big things about this too, that Overlord getting up in the high ground vision is huge. Denver kept losing the Reapers in the grass, and that's why he kept disengaging, looking a little bit to do a throwback, yellow, if you will.
A yellow.
Cowardice, cowardly. But there's 2 fairly large groups of Lings now on the map, and Optimus has to be careful. As said, he's been up to this point pretty good at knowing where his opponent's army is, but he might not actually know about this back group, and that's where, yeah, it might get caught off a little guard. It's a lot of grenades coming down, but a big surround out of Denver. Optimus has a lot of Reapers, but they're going to go down quickly. 18 Reapers on the map right now.
That is a lot of Reapers. He's still producing 7 at a time, while also producing SCVs, so it still feels like he could transfer out of this, but the time is a ticking. Denver even manages to now sneak in upgrades, a Baneling
but
nest.
he just took out all the Lings. Well,
That's true.
okay, there we go. Now all the lings.
There you go. He's got about 20 more on the way, and he didn't make any additional queens, so it is a situation where if the lings are all gone, it could snowball very quickly to victory.
I mean, you expect 3 racks. You expect maybe even a 5 racks. Who the hell goes 8 racks Reaper? Optimus. That's who.
Kind of odd grenades going down there. There we go.
I think those grenades actually may have hurt him more than helped him in that situation. But either way, the auto attacks ravage the third base. If these lings even have a chance to hatch, they're going to go down too.
No.
While this happens, Optimus is building a 3rd command center. Stim has begun. He's moved on towards factory production.
Well, now that he's winning, he can transfer over.
Yeah.
Of course. This
Well-
is a one game, man. GG.
8 racks Reaper. You guys saw it here first on BaseTradeTV. Got a lot of bits during that game, though. Got to give some love. Devin Wolf, as well as Beast Mode Animal Style. That's a great name and really fun to say, actually. Beast Mode Animal Style. Thank you so much. Lord Ace here with the 21-month resub. Devin Wolf says, 500 bits. Here are your guilt bits. Oh.
Yeah.
And then he wants Zombie Rub, or Zombie Rub made a Beast Wars joke.
I don't think I did.
If she did, it was unintentional. Because I tell you what, guys, I'm the one who loves Beast Wars, okay?
I've watched I like Beast Wars. I watched Beast Wars, but I didn't make any joke about them.
I always hated Cheetor. Always had like the classic cheetah like black lines coming from his eyes that looked like tears, and he's always such a whiny baby. So I always thought like cheetahs actually were just crybabies. Like,
Well, they kind of are. They're not actually that impressive of an animal, but they're my favorite, so I like Cheetor a lot. I used to have an action figure of him, and I can never remember how to.
I had one of
change it
Dinobot,
back.
dude, the little spinny sword and everything.
Yeah, I would always forget how to change them back. They're kind of complicated.
Well, we're gonna throw to one more commercial break, guys. Just 2 minutes. We'll get to game number 5. First ace match of the day. We'll see you soon. All right, we're back. I'm glad we both had the same reaction to someone being a Rat Trap fan in chat. Oh, if we can real talk for a second, I always thought Rhinox was like super cool and had like the coolest weapon, but they ended up being totally just worthless and like a support character through all of Beast Wars. And then we became Beasties, wherever where they went back to Cybertron, and he was like the bad guy. I was like, you ruined. I hate this guy. Rhinox, you had the potential for greatness in you.
I watched Beast Wars a long time ago, and then for one of our marathons that me and my friends were doing for a while, we would just like pick a series and we'd marathon it. My friend chose Beast Wars, and I tried to watch it, man, but
Going back now, it's probably so brutal.
I couldn't. It was actually super bad. Like, I realized the animation in some ways is nostalgic, but it was actually so bad I couldn't get over it. I still can get over Reboot, but I don't know what it is about Beast Wars. It's just like, oh no.
You know, because a lot of it too is like, it looks like PlayStation original style graphics. Like, just.
Oh my god. Like, you know what actually reminds me of a lot is Gauntlet graphics.
Oh lord.
The arcade.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you're
because like
talking
they'd
about.
have those intros or whatever, and he'd be like, "These graphics are amazing."
We played that at TwitchCon the very first year, actually. The group of us.
That's right. Yes, we did. And
All right.
the fourth player didn't work, so we had to like one man out. Oh no, super awkward.
All right, well, folks, we're in game number 5 here for the Ting Open, and once again, I do need to drop a little bit of love for our sponsors. Make sure to check out bttv.ting.com. If you don't know what Ting is, the TLDR, it's a phone company, United States only, and they can maybe help you save a ton of money each month on your phone bill. But here on the bottom left side, we've got the red Zerg player, hoping and praying to God there's no Reapers. It's Denver.
In the top right is the blue Terran. He is Optimus. It'd be crazy to T-Rex Reaper on Proxima Station.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of ways up and in. Like over here, there's actually gaps. You can't jump up. There's, I guess, a long path that won't even get you up to the back because you got the rocks to deal with. So this would just be the worst map to do it on. Him going for the faster CC back at home, though, might not be too bad either. I mean, again, he didn't win game 1, but I really liked his macro and I really liked his micro. So maybe that'll be the way to play this one out.
Yeah, I don't mind him playing a macro game at all. The first game was actually even in his favor for a little bit, I would say. And everything got topsy-turvy, lost a few too many tanks and all that. But his Banshees did good work. The Hellions got a lot of kills. He eventually got to this really awesome tank count.
I'm really sad right now, Zombie Grub. I put a tweet out after that last game trying to do a quote of Stukov. And everyone's mistaking it for the double mint gum. Double the Reapers, double the power, yes?
Oh, is that something he says?
Yeah, double the infestation, double the power.
Oh, yes, that's cute. I watched my friend yesterday because I had gone over to their house, celebrating a friend's birthday, and he was like, you know, you're here, so you can teach me how to play StarCraft. And I was like, sure. And then he like hops into a co-op game, and I'm like, buddy, I don't know how to play co-op. What the hell, man? And he plays Sukov too, and I tell him about the new map.
Oh, Dead of Night. Have you played it yet?
Thing. No, that is misplaced.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say that's a little bit awkward. Already forcing a cancel with the Reaper, not a bad start.
I was actually really excited for it because I really liked the arcade game back in the day. But then I watched my friend play it, and he's like a level 20 Stukov, and decent at the game enough, I suppose. But it was the exact problem that every other map has in regular Brutal is that it's really easy.
Yeah, so Nate and I tried to break the game yesterday. Did you hear about this?
No.
So we tried to do a quote-unquote holdout run where we see how long we could last. But we knew like regular Brutal would be too easy. So we added void rifts, like alien incubation, like everything that would spawn more units. And we were an hour deep into the map, and we learned that we would have actually lasted longer than our computers would. Both of us, who have high-powered PCs, got to 0 FPS at points. Nate had a tank that had over 1,000 kills on it. I think it ended up at 1,300 or something. Like, and we just weren't losing units. So I think Dead of Night's a really cool map, but there is like a hard, like, it's not, there's no scaling on it. It's easy peasy.
Yeah, that sucks. I really hope they change it then. Like, I want it to be difficult, especially if it's going to be a mutator.
I think, for me, the longer the nights go, the more hero units should spawn would make it more difficult.
Yeah, you had told me about the boomer thing or whatever, the humongous baneling, and I was really excited to see it. And well, my friend won by like night 3 or something. And I was like,
you can see, yeah. Yeah, I had to say they're the stank. We didn't see the stank for the first time till yesterday. But anyways, enough about co-op. We do have these Hellions on the front line, and well, the Reaper may have even spooked Denver. Like, you see the one, you're like, oh god, is there just gonna be 11 more? I don't even know. The Hellions are gonna be a lot easier to deal with, I'd say, a lot easier to manage. But he did make a lot of lings, and whether this was on purpose because he was hoping to get aggressive, or whether this was incidental because he overestimated the Reaper attack, either way, they will be here to fight those Hellions.
Well, they're gonna turn to Hellbat soon enough, and there's gonna be a second Raven joining up as well, and just it's gonna be super annoying because they can stay in this little tiny spot on Proxima.
This is a significant amount of Hellions, though. This isn't like
I think Denver really messed up here. I mean, he's gonna build what, 2 mutas?
You know, I really wish he would have kept 2 of those in Hellion form. We'll talk on that later. The Hellbat's just going to bust through the front door. Auto Turret's going to help kill the Queens on the backside. Raven comes in, and that's a lot of damage going down. He loses almost nothing for it. And Optimus is just going to push right through. Hell, the third base might even die.
Denver definitely misread this. I mean, if it was a 6 Hellbat attack, well, you like with a medevac or not, he probably holds perfectly fine.
It might not just be over yet, though. He is moving towards mutas. He doesn't quite get a lot of drone kills. I mean, the third base kill was massive, but he didn't finish off the Queens. And I don't know what his anti-air is going to look like. He's got a handful of Marines back at home.
He should be fine against the first wave of mutas, but if it does start to snowball and he gets contained, then the mutas could definitely bring this game back. Give Denver a lot of time to make up for that loss of a third base. His Ravens are going to feel a little bit useless, too. I don't think Optimus is able to scout that it's fast mutas.
Maybe not, though.
It's a problem.
If he actually has both these Ravens at home, Auto Turrets shred mutas.
Oh yeah, if his Ravens are at home. He did scout the Spire, by the way, so I would have liked to have seen him protecting his Ravens and his Ravens protecting him. But they're still out in the map. As far as that one didn't die, this one also not being chased away.
Actually, one of my favorite silly builds I ever saw on the Thanos stream was he went like Raven, Mass Hellion, and it worked really well because the Auto Turrets killed mutas. If anyone went like Hydras, he just like went point defense drones against it. Like it's actually pretty silly, but of course we're heading towards Bio, so we're not gonna have anything quite so ridiculous this game. But just there was a lot of really cool potential had he kept both Ravens alive for the mid game.
Yeah. Now his barracks are done, and most of them have reactors, so his Marine production should be enough, and he will be taking a third base soon enough. I mean, Denver is gonna be able to commit for a while on just drones and mutas, which is really nice for him. He needs to, after losing the third and not being able to drone for so long. But eventually Optimus is going to push.
Well, this other Raven goes down. He does throw down the auto turret, and he focuses down the drones actually with that. That's kind of cool to see.
Nice.
5 workers dead, not bad. The muta count's certainly not enough to scare Optimus, but for Denver, he doesn't know about that stim timing. Optimus is only struggling with this right now because of the lack of stim. Second that finishes up, mutas are so much easier to deal with.
Optimus's push is going to be really scary for Denver. Denver still hasn't gotten a Baneling nest, and I'm not even sure that's on purpose. That might be. Okay, he's gotten it now. All right, so they definitely won't have speed though, and that is just something that he had to. Yeah, well, that is just something that he had to have given up. But if he has Banelings, maybe that'll hold Optimus from pushing on a creep a little while longer.
Mutas really want to get those SCVs. Might be a little bit greedy, though. A lot of Marines are nearby. He will get the mules, though. Oh,
hey.
That's two freshly dropped mules. That's going to sting.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Optimus is already at 57 SCVs, 56 SCVs, though, so...
Yeah, you know what? I really wish these mutas weren't causing so much trouble, though, because that 1-1 time he just finished up, and it's going to be so favorable if he just goes with an attack.
Flavorful combat shields.
Flavorful red water. Shut up.
Just like Nintendo cartridges.
I love that the intent was we don't want people to eat these, so let's make them taste bad, which in turn made everybody try and eat them.
Who was complaining enough about their child eating them?
I think it was actually a perfectly legitimate thing. Like, if you put the stigma there, no one's gonna try. Like, I think every kid in the world knows don't eat soap. And not because, like, they've tried it and said, like, oh, this tasted gross, but because they know that it's going to taste bad from hearing it from everybody else.
For me, it'd be more like don't eat the can of Coke. Or don't eat a printer cartridge. Not because it's poisonous or painful, because it doesn't sound that delicious.
But that's coming from the perspective of someone who's aged and can think like that. Kids are just like, I would give this fit in my mouth.
Well, I'm trying to think of, when I was younger, but I don't know what I put in my mouth.
Oh, zombie girl, that's going to be taken out of context at some point. A lot of Banelings just finish up, though, and Denver, he's hitting them surprisingly well. Optimus does have a depot as well as an army here, though. SCVs.
Oh, this is... Oh, no. No. Yeah. Even with speed, it was questionable. He didn't know the army was not in that location, so...
Oh, the mutas are just not numerous enough. If these were at home, they might have caught these medevacs, but 2 medevacs now heading into Denver's natural. And this is where all the tech is. If Optimus gets to run rampant in his natural base, Denver's going to feel the burn. Evo chambers, Baneling nest, Spire, like everything is here.
I don't know if they'll have that much time to kill more than one important tech structure, or maybe none. He's going to try and get the evolution chamber, and he does get that one.
Cuts out weapon attacks, which is actually really nice.
Optimus is taking his sweet time in this game. I mean, he still has a lead. He's not giving up his lead. But I'm surprised he didn't already push. He broke down the rocks. Maybe he'll even bother breaking down Denver's rocks, but his push should be good enough. I mean, doubling the army supply, that is pretty close to a move.
He'll take an okay fight in the main. Again, on this back attack, it's really difficult because the mutas will pick off the medevac, so this will get cleaned up, but it's still going to cost him a lot to have done this. Optimus, on the other hand, he's got quite the army. Again, 127 supply, 2-1 in upgrades. Even if the +2 are finished for Denver, I still just think the unit composition's not there. 19 Banelings, okay, I guess, but that would be if there was no Marauders, if there's no Marines, if there was, no Widowmines or no Hellbats. But Optimus actually has a large portion of his army, I'd say even a quarter of it, designed to just soak the Banelings.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be really surprised Denver pushes this back. And I'd probably blame Optimus for messing up somehow. Doesn't seem to be. Spreading out his Widow Mines, putting his Marauders on the front lines, everything you need to do as a Terran player, and still has Widow Mines.
Split that. Yeah, he's just going to kite back. A lot of Marines here, as long as they're not complacent. Yeah, he's just running. I like it. Splits are not even that amazing, but they're good enough, and it kills the rest of Denver's army. Ladies and gentlemen, Optimus! This is really cool for me because Optimus did say, like, over the last 2 days, like, he's really concerned. Like, he almost considered dropping out. Like, he's really feeling sick. So hopefully, I guess he's feeling recovered and good to go today. Either way, takes on Denver and now moves on to fight against either Nurchio or Snoot in that winner's bracket. But both of those players are going to be a completely different challenge than what we just saw through Denver. However, we are going to have the other the other preliminary match coming up now. Snoot versus Nurchio, best of 5. So we're going to play some, I guess, commercials from our sponsors. This is our ads for TING. If you guys don't care for these, go take about a 5-minute break. We'll probably be back and good to go by then. Other than that, thank you, TING, for sponsoring this event, and let them talk about themselves.